Right there. Go back. Okay, look right there on the screen.
Is that you making all the noise?
Oh!
Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that!
Did you see that?
Oh, that's cool. Hello! Welcome to the Halfassed Approach YouTube channel. My name is Quint.
I'm Harry.
Today, Harry's got a few videos for me to watch.
So a little while ago, we made a video making fun of like Ghost Adventures and shows like that. Hello and welcome to Ghost Adventures. Legend has it that a man named John, he died taking the biggest dump you could ever find. I hear you don't like people sitting on your toilet. Well, guess what? I'm sitting on your toilet. At this moment, I felt a shiver up my butthole. Was this the hand of John sticking his hand up to try to force me by my butthole off of his toilet? So, we decided that we would take that one step further, look at real videos of them, and see if our resident video expert can debunk them or if there's anything to them.
Oh, jump scare. Whoa,
Blood.
that's original.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, we get it.
It's been a minute 23 into this video.
Dude, I'm like collapsing into the ground.
Are you serious? Yeah, I just saw you fall into it.
Air pockets. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I do the same thing when I mow the lawn because I have gophers in my lawn.
Yeah. We're open-minded. It might not
This
be
is not even dirt. All it is like ash. Look at that.
Wow.
It's like ash. It's not, but it's like ash.
You can totally tell that from the night vision.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, that's definitely not a dirt.
On a side note, the Travel Channel, Man vs. Food, is a wonderful show. I'm sad they stopped making it.
And like these pinches all over you?
Yes.
Yeah, I kept getting that.
You're
too.
telling me about this one.
Give me a light real quick.
When I lift my shirt, both Nick and Aaron see a red mark right where I felt this.
Bad lighting, but still, like, why would they not just off camera literally poke or pinch him or something? Like, it's so easy and he just acts it out. Jeez, I haven't even seen anything that's like even real video effects or anything like that yet. Like, come on.
Guys, I'm not feeling right.
I'm not either.
It's just them saying I don't feel good or something pinched me.
That's a f***ing Class A EVP.
Make sure they go. Make sure they go.
What?
Play it again. Play it
Make
again.
sure they
I
go.
just got the chills. Oh.
Like, get out of here.
Listen,
Yes.
you getting this?
I kind of did this with our own video. Like, we recorded Harrison just making EVPs where he's pretending to be the ghost and just making noise. And of course, we did it very obvious that it's his own voice. And like, I did it pretty loud to begin with that, you know, you can hear a definite, it's me.
Who's that? That's me. Who's that? That's me.
So who's to say that they didn't just record that preemptively? It's a crappy little mic anyway. That's what really bugs me. Why is it that they always choose the crappiest, cheapest little devices to record this stuff with? You'd think if you're really trying to get a high quality, good sounding EVP, you'd get the best equipment possible, like the really high quality mics, the really high quality cameras that can see well at night, stuff like that. The truth is like, you want the cheap stuff because it just has all these what I call artifacts in them. Like from our little video, the tape has the disembodied eye over it, and I kind of explained that it must have been from a previous time it was recorded. It's just crappy equipment not working as well as it should be. Really, I think that's why it is. Let's buy the little voice recorder that has the crappy tinsy little mic in it, just so that when you can say something in it from across the room, it sounds like what we just heard on this. On top of that, they probably recorded it with their good professional equipment, and they intentionally, through editing, just there's so many sound effects, like effects you can do to audio to make it sound garbled up and everything. Like, it sounds all tinsy, like just really. So you could do what's called a low pass on it, and that, or no, not a low pass, a high pass, where it blocks out all the lower frequency sounds and only lets the higher frequency sounds. So that already that alone makes it sound really tinsy, like it's coming through really tinny speakers. And there's other things you could do, like distortion and stuff like that, you know, just throw your own little slew of effects into it and you'll get something very similar to that. Gee, I might even do a follow-up video where we take an audio sample, something, you know, we'll take an EVP of you saying it's me or something, or that's me.
That's me. That's me.
Dick.
Dick. Please insert that clip. Dick.
We'll take that audio clip of you saying dick, and I'll intentionally chintzy it up to make it sound like it's coming out of one of those little voice recorders.
Yeah,
I might actually do it.
please do.
I heard the memories the first go around.
Yeah.
Memories of what?
I didn't hear bad.
I killed.
Did you say I killed Pearl Bryant?
So I don't know what the device they were using. It sounds like a speak and spell.
A what? What's a speak and spell?
You don't know? A speak and spell is like the first like toy you can type in. Like it had a keyboard on it. You type in letters and you could just press like W and it'd say W, but it sounded like that thing. W.
Like a Stephen Hawking type of thing?
Yeah, but even worse. It was like the very first toy that could ever actually do synthesized speech.
So what my understanding of what they claim they're doing is they have an EVP that measures electromagnetic something.
Yeah, and then
And
just
it
interprets
claims-
it as some
right.
synthesized little,
Synthesized speech.
yeah, something like that. Like, because the whole thing is like, oh, they give off electromagnetic radiation, so that's why you're able to pick them up, and that's why these ghost hunters prefer not digital cameras, but magnetic, stuff with like magnetic tape or audio recorders with. Although I do see them on ghost hunters using digital equipment to pick up EVPs too. So I mean, what the hell, whatever. If it really does give off electromagnetic radiation, that it would make sense to use something with magnetic tape because it's influenced by electromagnetic fields. Mm-hmm. If you were to take a VHS tape, for example, and you took a powerful magnet and held it up to the tape, it wouldn't really like stick to it or anything, but it would erase that entire tape.
Really?
So you could have a movie on there, and it'd look just fine, and then you'd wave the big magnet across it, and then stick it back in and play it, and you'd be lucky if you even have a picture at all.
I didn't
So
know
it's
that.
they are very susceptible to electromagnetic fields. So I mean that makes sense, but we see ghost hunters using digital stuff, and that's not affected by electromagnetic fields. So that doesn't make sense to me. If you really claim that it uses that they give off electromagnetic fields, use something that can pick up that stuff that's sensitive to that. And that's probably what this device is supposed to be. Is it's supposed to pick up an electromagnetic pulse or field and it's supposed to interpret it. And since I don't know what it really is, I'm sure they explain it in the film. I'm not really sure, but I'm still feeling like it's the same. Who's to say that they don't have some sort of input in there? Like, with the speak and spell, you can type in a word and it will say that word. And this is like one of these in a different 3D printed case or something like that. Who knows?
Is that you making all the noise? Holy Holy Stop!
Oh, this does give me the chills. I like
Yeah.
that. That's good.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they really believe, and this is legit, everything they are doing. You're going to psych yourself out. You're locked in a building at night expecting to see something scary.
Exactly.
That kind of is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you hear a weird noise, I'd book it too.
There was a noise there, though.
Mm-hmm. And I thought I saw something move. I'll let you know. Right there.
The noise?
Go back. Okay, look right there on the screen.
Is that you making all the noise?
Oh!
Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that!
Did you see that?
Oh, that's cool.
That was something.
Finally, something.
That was something.
I'm going to go with,
A string.
yes, fishing line. Fishing line.
Yep.
Strong stuff, and you can tie it around the book and just yank it up. Yeah.
Making all the noise?
Well, that's obviously dubbed in, because you see the book move and you hear the...
Oh,
Like, that's just a sound effect. Like, I have this... I'll have to do a video or something where I show this, too. But I have sound effects. I'll just bring it up now, damn it. Bro Scrollers. It's just something you can buy. Let me see if I can find it really quick now. Yes, underneath the sound design folder, you got something called Mammoth Hits. So there's one. Here's another one. Yeah? Doesn't that sound very close to what they just...
pretty dang close. Ooh, that was a good one.
Anyway, yeah, so it's all part of sound design.
So it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, that's just, it's pretty obvious that it's not, it was just dubbed in anyway, but I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah.
And they do get a little inventive with it, and I gotta give them credit for that.
I'm going to take a look at some additional footage
Yes.
captured by
Okay, here we go.
Nick. Going to give an analysis to see if it's been tampered with.
Never bothered to
All right,
explain
we're
how
gonna
that
take a look at
works.
some footage here of a brick that takes flight.
Oh, it's a brick.
Here you can see it go off right here, right there. I'm going to bring up some graphics right here in a second that's going to show you of a straight line on which if the brick was launched or pulled in any way that it would have gone in a straight line. And you'll be able to see that underneath the line, you'll be able to see the brick come right here underneath the line there, kind of dip down underneath of it right there. Here's another view of it. Dip down and kind of went in an arch there.
So what? Like, you could still have it attached to a fishing line and give it a big yank and it will pull it up and, you know, in an arc like that as well. Like, it'd actually probably be pretty hard to pull something upward up and over in a straight line.
That's a very odd point he makes. Like,
well, I believe him when he says that the footage has not been tampered with, because I believe what they really did was not a visual effect at all. You know, and maybe it doesn't have to be some reflective type of, like, regular fishing line. Sure, maybe that might reflect some light and you'd see a big, huge glint in the form of a line being moved around and stuff. It'd be obvious, but maybe you can paint it black, or maybe they have fishing line that isn't reflective or clear or anything like that in such a way that it wouldn't reflect light. I could compare it a lot to magic, really, because it's all about getting your audience to believe in something that isn't actually true. Tell me how that's any different from ghost hunting. Like,
oh yeah.
Because ghosts are real. Ah.
Okay, I'm using the vector scope here to enhance the video to see if there's any fishing line or rope or string or something attached to the brick, and you would see it in through the video here. You would be able to see the lines of it, especially after this brick takes flight, and clearly there's nothing here. All right, one of the other things that I found on this video after I cleaned it up with the vector scope is there's a board back here that you can't really see back here now. But after I clean it up, you're going to be able to see this board take off from behind the brick. It kind of levitates itself up and flies to the opposite side of the brick. This board right here, it just goes off backwards, and the brick is going one way. And even with the vector scope, I analyzed the area with the vector scope. It's just something that's really unexplainable.
I'm having a hard time describing this one, I'll admit.
Okay.
But I will say this, like, there's always, they just did a better job with this one. It's not the, did you hear that? Did you? They did a little better job. And I'm still going to stand with the fishing line idea. Maybe it's not an exact fishing line. And you're right, there are ways you can do this where, like, if you, something that you normally can't see because it's in the dark shadows or something, you can apply effects in editing to it that, like, it completely messes up the image and makes it look, like bluish, like he had it or something. But it does show things that you normally can't see. But I still think that you could still fool it. Like, there would be a way, I think. And they probably just really did their homework on that one. As for the board, maybe they had a second string. Who knows? So I guess I'd say I can't prove this one wrong, but I'm still skeptic about it.
Little did he know we were about to capture something unbelievable.
I wrote a whole book on
this
Little Did He Know.
infrared camera.
Dubbed in sounds. Where? I don't see it.
It's right.
Oh, right there.
You see
right
him?
there, yeah.
Yeah, you see him? That's interesting.
There's something called video compression, where you're not seeing the true. Okay, so when when a camera records video, there's an image sensor that the light itself falls on, and that image sensor has to convert that light into information, essentially ones and zeros. And if you try to do completely raw, it's going to be, or uncompressed. Some cameras can do it, but it's such a large, huge video file that it's really hard to manage. Like, you'd fill up an SD card really quickly. You'd, try to move it over to the computer to edit. It'd take a long time. It'd be hard to play because of the bit rate would be so high. So most cameras will compress it right then and there as they're recording, just so that it can save space and make it a much more manageable and smaller file to deal with.
Sure.
They do this by, instead of, every individual pixel being the same, it can just be like, oh, here, this area was, this little area of the frame is similar in color enough, to this certain type of color that we're just going to make it all that same color. And that's why a lot of these, like, lower compressed videos, the lower quality videos are all kind of pixely and blocky for that reason. Usually they do it in little squares. And it also saves space when it's compressing by taking each frame and instead of updating every pixel every frame, that would take up a lot more space.
Sure.
It will actually just okay, for the next 3 frames this pixel is the same color, even though in real life it might have actually changed. And then the next one is going to be something similar to it, so that it kind of still blends together as the frames roll by. And I think that's more of what we're seeing here, is just there happened to be a group of pixels that kind of looked like an apparition, and it just happened to, okay, now these pixels are, look like the pixels next to you. Okay, and then a few frames later look like the pixels next to you. So it kind of makes it move across the screen.
So you don't think this is a real apparition? You think there are ways you could do this that makes it look like an apparition?
I think this is purely coincidence. It's like that eye that I found on the VHS tape. It just happened. And of course our minds love to try to make sense out of just complete randomness. It's when you draw a row of dotted lines, it's not a complete line, but we like to interpret it as a line. We're really good at seeing movement. So here's something that looks like it's moving across the screen. Let's look at it and look at it harder and try to make some sense out of it. And of course, something like a person, the shape of a person, is something familiar to us, and could be a reason why that we, it doesn't really even look like anything.
No, I could see it sort of. Run it through one more time. Here we go.
It's right there.
Right there. So I can kind of see it.
It almost looks like it does walk.
Yeah, I kind of see it walking.
Oh, it is kind of creepy. I'll give you that.
Is there a way for me to film Nick, then film me walking across, and somehow layer that video onto each other and make that happen?
Yeah. Captain Disillusion does this a lot.
Whoa, what the hell is that? It's some sort of alien craft floating in the distance. Is that real? Well, we can't be sure. It's important to keep an open mind. Let's pass the video around the internet a million times and argue about personal anecdotes in the comments.
Film something in a much higher quality, and then intentionally put in the deformities like low compression. It's so easy to just render something in a low compression or a low quality and have it look like this.
When he animates a mask to create the illusion of the ship disappearing into the clouds, he discovers a mistake. The clouds were tracked at the wrong depth, causing the ship to slide unrealistically. But that's okay. He knows that the audience won't notice or care. Their desire to believe the UFO is real will automatically endow the video with the necessary level of realism. They'll probably even interpret ordinary optical artifacts, such as the flare from the sun being refracted into tiny dots by the glass in the window, as orbs escorting the mothership. As a final touch, the hoaxer adds camera defects, flashes, and shaking to the image. It may seem counterintuitive for an object filmed with a modern, high-resolution, auto-stabilized sensor to somehow become more difficult to see when it's larger. But this is a time-honored tradition of hoax culture and continues to be preserved.
Yeah, you could do something like you'd wear like a green screen suit, so it'd be like a spandex suit, like that goes over your face and everything, and it's just green. You could like chroma key that out, but not completely. You could do some effects on that where you're mostly transparent. So you do all your edits first to make it look, as good as you can then, and then export it as like a really low quality video. Maybe we need to do a follow-up video where we do this, but I don't know, that could be sometime. But I would love to follow up on it because I don't want to just blow a lot of hot air and never really back myself up.
Sounds like we're going to be making a part 2 to our Ghost Adventures.
When we get the time.
When we get the time, being the key word.
Donate money if you want us to do it sooner. We do have a Patreon.
We do. Oh my gosh, I haven't been on there in a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we gave you a lot to think about. Thank you so much for Timeless Evil for providing this video to us. They're definitely close friends of ours. Just kidding. We have no idea who they are.
Almost 5,000 subs. Good for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on the Half-Assed Approach YouTube channel.
Have a good one, guys.